What's up, guys? So I just posted that video not too long ago on the zip ties, how I like taking zip ties off, and that is breaking them off very quickly and very efficiently with the multi-tool multiplier. So a lot of the comments in that video were basically saying you don't have to break it off, you can just pull the tab down, slip it off, and you can even reuse them. And yes, that's true. And that's why I'm making this video. I'm going to talk about why I don't do that and show you how to do that just in case you never saw it before. This is one of my 5 containers of zip ties. All right. I got these many years ago. I don't know how many are in here. If I had to guess, maybe 500 to 1,000, something like that. And when I say 5 other containers, they're not even this size. They're larger. I have a huge box of these things. So sometimes I'll use these for cut tests. And when I use them for cut tests, I'm not just taking the zip tie, putting it on something and trying to cut it off. What I do is I put it sideways, all right, so it's sticking up. I'll put it on a cutting board and I'll do some, precise cutting with it with the blade that I'm testing. And that is really just to see how that edge holds up to harder cutting, okay? Because obviously, this thick, durable plastic is hard to cut. So that's how I'll use them for, actual cut tests. And then I just have a ton of them. But today, I'm again showing you a different way to use or to remove, we'll say, zip ties. All right, so we have our regular zip tie, and if you never really kind of scrutinized what a zip tie is doing here, let's go over what its purpose is. You can see there's a little tab inside that block, okay, and then obviously on the back of the zip tie, we have a bunch of these little lines that go across, right? So as you put the tail end into the hole, all right, the tip has nothing, so it doesn't make any noise or anything because there's none of those lines, right? But we all know the sound of a zip tie, right? It's ratcheting, right? So what's happening is that little tab that's on the inside of the square is going through each one of these bumps, bump, 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 bump. That's the noise, but it only goes one way. You try to pull it the other way, it doesn't go because that little tab jams in to the little ridges. Right, that's how a zip tie works, right? That's the basics. So, as people are mentioning, if you lift the tab up, you'll be able to remove the zip tie, right? Because right now, obviously, it doesn't pull out. That's the whole point, right? You just zip this down on something nice and tight, and that's it. So, if you use a little screwdriver, or in this case, I'm using one of these little nail cleaning tools. By the way, you can get these on eBay in the hundreds. These are confiscated everywhere. I don't know where people buy these things, but I have a ton of these from one of the old lots that I bought. There was a bunch of confiscated knives in the airport. All right, it's got a blade on it. These are almost never sharpened. This one is completely dull. Then it has this little tool, which I love using to clean my nails all the time. It's the curved nail cleaning tool, I suppose, and a little file on the back. And then we have like this little multi-tool thing with the flathead screwdriver and a little bottle opener. All right, people are talking about using a small screwdriver in there. It's even easier using this cleaning tool. So if you happen to have one of these inside of your nail clippers, you can certainly use that. But if you push this into the end, and let me actually zoom in, you guys can see this a little better, hopefully. All right, I know it's all black and it's kind of hard to see, but if you push this in, you can see right now I'm pulling, nothing's happening. But if you put it in, and it kind of pops in, and it lifts that tab. Okay, by lifting the tab, you're able to, if you can see my other hand, I'm pulling this out because the tab is being lifted off of those ridges, so it's able to move. Okay, so that's it. So let's do that again from back here. So it's an extreme close-up. All right, use your zip tie. All right, zip it on something. Push your little tool in. You'll feel just a little pop. If I'm quiet for a second, maybe you can even hear it. All right, and then you can remove the rest of the zip tie and you can reuse it. So if you do leave these tag ends on stuff, let's say you only have, I don't know, 2 or 3 zip ties and you might have to save them after you use them for something. Use a zip tie, put it on whatever you want, but leave the tag end. Some people are talking about taking the actual tag end and using this to push that in. And you can see it does work. I'm loosening it quite a bit. But obviously when you get to the end of it, you know what I mean? You're holding the tag itself. So I don't know. I never actually tried this. I'm trying it right now on camera. Let me put that down. I don't know if you can get to the very end and remove it. It's very difficult. Let's see. I don't know if you can bend it enough. so that you get to the bare spot here, because obviously it has to slip out of the hole. So how would you put it in, you know? Pull to the very end. And no, I can't. I mean, I have like maybe 5 or 6 ridges left here. I don't know if you could completely take it off. You could use it certainly to loosen it, but it's way difficult. But even using this tool, even going in, because remember, when zip ties are used, more times than not, at least when I use zip ties, I cut these tags off. I don't want these tags flopping around, hanging around. You know, I'll come in and I'll cut it really short, all right, just to clean it up. But let's say you even did leave the tags or whatever, and you can use a tag to actually loosen it, which is nice. Just an option, I suppose, if you see that. But, you know, taking a tool out like this and trying to come into the tab, which sometimes, you know, the heads of the zip ties are twisted and twisted around on something. Maybe it's on like a little kid's toy or something. You know, I'm always the guy that has to open the stuff at Christmas for my niece and nephew because I'm the knife guy, you know what I mean? But more times than not, when I'm opening those, you know, Christmas toys and stuff, everything's zip tied in there, I'm not using my knives. You know, I'm using my knife to cut the you know, cardboard or cut the tape line and stuff. But then I have my multi-tool, and I know to bring it at Christmas every single year, and I use that to just break the zip ties. It's just so much easier for me to just grab with pliers and just twist until it breaks, you know? And some people are talking about, you know, if you don't want to damage the item that the zip tie is actually on, you can twist the head. I've done that too. If you grab the head and just, you know, squeeze it to deform it or break it off, you can, you know, slip that out. But yeah, I mean, take a tool, a flathead or something like this, which is even easier than a flathead, and to come in there and try to, you know, loosen that every single time. To me, that's just more effort, and I'm left with garbage anyway. I don't need to reuse these only because I personally have thousands of them. So there you go. I do appreciate all the comments. This is certainly one way to do it. You know, there's a great saying, there's more than one way to get from A to B than just going in a straight line. And what that really means is that sometimes there's multiple solutions to the same problem. And oftentimes when I make a video talking about certain things, people say, yeah, but you could do this, or why don't you just do this? You could. Those are other options. This is definitely another option. If you didn't want to break them off, or if you personally don't have a lot of zip ties and you want to reuse a certain zip tie or something, absolutely. You can jam something in there, lift that little tab up, and you could reuse the zip tie. So it's cool information. And it is something that I knew about, I saw many years ago. But again, for me, in my situation, grabbing a multi-tool and just, you know, pinching that and twisting, it's just pinch, twist, snap, it's done. If I have multiple, it's just boom, boom, boom. So for me, that's how I like doing it. But this is a different way, all right? So if you didn't know, now you do. And you can thank everyone else watching because they're the ones who mentioned it and they're the reason why I want to make this video. So there you go. There is another way to remove zip ties in case you wanted to repurpose it or reuse it. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for the feedback. I always appreciate it. You know, part of me making videos on here is interacting with everyone, you know, and oftentimes you guys teach me things just as much as I teach you things. And I always appreciate it. But there you go. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.